I've decided to post a video on YouTube, like many people have done before, to try and understand what is going on with my T25. Um, Relatively new to the VW scene, not so new to working on cars, but it's not my day job. I tend to Google something and then replace bits, probably far too many bits than I actually need to do, just to try and avoid some of those huge garage bills, like we all do. Plus, I get some sort of enjoyment out of it, trying to understand and fix something. Um, I've bought this T25 back in August last year. Now, it had been sat for 8 years roughly, had only ever been started, hadn't been moved, so it was sat in the field, dragged out, brought back down, and I'll show you some, hopefully be able to do some before and after photos of what we've done so far. Um, but it's taken quite a while. I've had to redo all the brakes, brake lines, clutch line, all the pipe work. The windscreen wiper motor went the day before the MOT was due. Disappointingly, the only thing it failed on was the windscreen wiper motor. So that was some credit to the work that I'd put in, but quite frustrating because it meant I then had to go away, order, come back, put one in. Now, I was fortunate enough with that little issue that I'd worked out that you don't have to dismantle the dash as some guides tell you to do. Mine's a 1.9 petrol. Whether that makes any difference, I don't know. But I was able to get to the windscreen wiper motor underneath the dash, and as I'd removed it a couple of times before, essentially it had taken me, I can take one out and put one back in sort of like that 20-minute mark now, which is quite handy. I can do a video and show how I do that. If people want to see it, just need to pop a comment on, and I'll quite happily do a quick video just to show how I managed to do it. But the main issue is we can't go anywhere in the van or any distance in the van because every time we do, it overheats. Now I had noticed a slight leak coming from the front of the radiator, so I knew that had to be replaced. When I looked at it, it was all rusted away, so I could see that needed doing. And then I went back to my days of when I owned a Mini Metro and it used to overheat. I decided that water pump and thermostat were two likely culprits as well, not working properly. And given that it sat there for so long, I thought it was probably all gunked up and is not doing its job. So I have replaced the radiator, I've flushed the system, it's got new coolant in it, I've replaced the thermostat and the thermostat housing, which unfortunately I had to replace because the bolts wouldn't come undone because they'd rusted shut. I've done the water pump, the stainless steel pipe that goes along the bottom of it, I had to replace that as well because that had all rusted on. I couldn't get that off, so it was a bit of a nightmare. Um, and then it took me a little while to get that third little bolt that's just in between the water pump and the engine, because you can't get anything in there to do it. So it's all a big learning process. But what I was hoping is that as I went through and then started it all back up, I bled the system, then I bled it again, then I bled it again, then again, then just once more for good measure. Then I tried the connecting up a foot pump to one end of it and pumping it through, and the water comes out, and there's no air in the system, nothing that I can see, yet it still overheats. One thing I do at the moment is I have everything going through the hot water matrix so that I can try and cool the engine down. It does cool it down to about halfway, but it still sits there. So I've done all of those things, and I still cannot find whether I'm doing something wrong, what the issue is. To be honest with you, it's now got to the point where I'm asking for help, and that's why I'm making this video. What I will do is I'll show you now the engine. I'll show you everything that I've done. You can see all the new bits, just in case I put it back together incorrectly. I have got a Haynes manual. I have followed that to the best that I can do. I've put G11 coolant in. That seems to cause some issue online when I research it. Haynes manual says G11. Everyone else is saying G12 or G13. I'd very much like some advice on that, what I should or shouldn't be using. Is that going to impact on the overheating issue itself? I'm quite happy to flush the system out and put some different things just to make it not overheat so we can use it. That's the whole aim of having this thing, so that we can go around in it. But again, I'm just at a bit of a loss of what I should do and what I shouldn't do. But I'll show you and then show you what it does. In particular with the overheating, I'll let it run, and then we can go from there. But if I head to the back, you can have a little look at the engine. Just the van from the outside. I will try and put up some before and after photos, just so that you can see the comparison. It's had a spray job on the driveway, literally the day before we were due to take it on its first camping trip. So it needs redoing, to be fair, but we wanted it all one colour, the best we could have it. It's got a few issues on the paintwork and on the bodywork still, and we've got to sort that out, but we'll get to that. So here's the engine. At least I've got that bit right. You can see some of the new pipework I've put in. It's had a new alternator. The water pump down here was what I replaced. That was the new stainless steel pipe you can hopefully see down the bottom there. New thermostat housing, new bolts, new fitting kit. There's a slave cylinder that I put on. I've got a new bit of pipe for this here, but to be honest with you, that doesn't really seem to have impact on it. It doesn't blow off when it overheats. If I take this off, it needs topping up a little bit, but not much. It is sitting on a bit of a slant here on the driveway at the moment, but that's where I'm at. Now, I'm kind of lost as to what I've done. I've used the bleed screw here, I've done the one at the front, I've done everything I can possibly do, just to show what's going. Now, if I'll take this bit off here, and I'll come over here and start the engine. Now, one of the reasons why we got this is because we loved the sound of it. Fingers crossed it's going to start. If it doesn't, it's going to look like a bit of a fall. I am aware that the fan belt needs tightening. It hasn't been started for a couple of weeks. So, you can see here, kind of ticks over all right. That's what it's doing in there. I don't know how much of that is vibration. As I said, I'll top that up and see what it does. I'm now going to leave it a few minutes just to hopefully heat up so that I can show you what's going on. Another thing worth mentioning while I'm waiting for it to heat up, when I came to drain the coolant, I had loads of buckets lined up because they said, the book says, there should be 17.5 litres, I think it is in there. When I came to drain it, there was maybe maximum 5 litres, that was it. And that came out pretty grotty. It didn't look like coolant, to be honest with you, it just looked like water. So whether that has done some damage to the internals of the engine, but you can hear from the engine, hopefully, that it's actually running quite nicely now. Maybe a little bit fast, but that's something I'm prepared to wear for the moment, because the overheating is causing me more of an issue, because it means I can't do anything with it. So it's been running for just over 20 minutes now. Gauge is still at 3/4, the fan's cut in and out, so I know that's working, but I can still find no real reason as to why, unless that's where it normally should sit. But looking online again, everything points at that quarter mark to half mark, and if it goes up to half, that usually means when it's under load and you're sitting in traffic for a bit or something similar. But outside of that, I'm at a loss, and I'm hoping you guys can help. So if you can put something in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. And just so I know I'm also being watched, and this video in particular is of some use to someone who's having the same sort of problem as what I've got, if you could subscribe as well, because I'm hoping to do some more videos as I go through the restoration. Like most people, I've got a ton of cars that need something doing to them, so I'm hoping to post some more videos over time, but we'll go from there. Thank you very much for watching, and if you can help us out, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.